Thank you for joining the Healthy Habits series. Today's topic is InBody assessments. Maybe by this time you've already gotten an InBody assessment done, or maybe you just want to know a little bit more about them. Today we'll discuss what the InBody assessment is. We'll go through an example. We'll do a results interpretation of the InBody 280 machine as well as the 570 machine. And we'll go through the additional results that you see if you choose to do your InBody with the 570 as well. What is the InBody assessment? The InBody test provides a detailed analysis of your body composition. Body composition is more accurate than your weight that you would do at home on your scale. Your weight is just going to tell you one number, whereas your body composition or the InBody test is going to tell you a range of information, including how much muscle you have, fat, protein, minerals, and even your body water content. Let's take a look at the example. This is using the InBody 270, one of the machines that we have here at Texas Children's. Our person, Jane Doe, is 5'1", 51 years old, female. When you look at her body composition analysis at the top, we see that her total weight is 130. At home on the scale, all we see is that 130. But as you can see, there's many numbers on Jane's InBody assessment. Her skeletal muscle mass, obesity analysis, segmental lean, what does that mean? And then her body composition history. We see that line graph with many numbers. Let's discuss what we're made of. In our results interpretation, we have our body composition analysis. So that's the one that says the total weight, sum of the above, 130. So what does this total weight comprise of? The total amount of water in your body, dry lean mass, which is protein and mineral content for building muscles and strengthening bones, and then your body fat mass, where we store excess energy. We can see that there's 60 pounds of water, 21.6 pounds of dry lean mass, 48.7 pounds of body fat mass, all equaling the 130.3 pounds being the total weight. Next, we'll look at our muscle to fat analysis. This section shows how your weight, skeletal muscle mass, and body fat mass compare to the healthy average range of people in the same height and sex as you. We get a better understanding of where our current body composition is, and that way we have somewhere to know where we want to grow or make any changes. So we see that there's a gray area right in the middle with the line above it. And then there's an arrow pointing down and an arrow pointing up. On either side of the gray area, it's black. Where it's black, it shows below average. So this could be someone that is underweight or doesn't have the recommended amount of muscle mass. On the opposite side of the gray area is someone who is above average. This could mean that you're slightly above average, overweight, or obese. Muscle, fat, and obesity risk. You can compare your measurements to others of the same height and sex with the percentages above the bar graphs. While the healthy range varies by output, the 100% mark indicates the healthy average for people of your height and sex. So if your weight bar is at 130%, this would mean that your weight is 30% above average. Similarly, if your weight bar is at 70%, this would mean that you have 30% less mass than is considered the healthy average for your height. Of course, there are many factors that affect this or different views or standards that you would look by. We always want to do what feels best for our body, internally and externally. Let's talk about some different shapes that we could see. We use the CID method most commonly with our muscle to fat analysis. When you look at your muscle to fat analysis and you see that your weight bar is extended long, your skeletal muscle mass is short, and your body fat mass is long, just like your weight. It creates a C-shaped body type. When you have the I shape, that means all of your bars are almost in a straight line. That creates the I shape body type. And when your skeletal muscle mass extends further than both your weight and body fat mass, we consider that a D-shape body type. C-shape body type generally needs to focus on increasing skeletal muscle mass and reducing body fat mass to find a healthier weight. I-shape, as long as it's not past the average, then you're still in healthy shape, but you can improve your physique or well-being by increasing skeletal muscle mass and slightly reducing your body fat mass. With your D shape, as long as your weight and body fat mass are still in a recommended range, this is the athletic or ideal body composition. Let's move on to your obesity analysis. We see our BMI, your body mass index, and your PBF, your percent body fat. Lots of times we use BMI at the doctor's office. It talks about our 18.5 to 24.99 being the healthy range, according to the World Health Organization. However, we generally focus more on the percent body fat. For men, the healthy range is between 10 and 20%. And for women, the healthy range is between 18 and 28%. For PBF, the ranges differ between men and women because women tend to carry more fat than men due to their reproductive system and genetics. We also know that sometimes our percent body fat or BMI can be slightly off due to your body composition. Maybe how much skeletal muscle mass you have according to your height and weight and age can make your BMI higher. And percent body fat depending on how aesthetically you want your body to look. There are some changes there. With your segmental lean analysis, it displays your lean body mass, so fat-free mass in all body segments in pounds, and its sufficiency to support your body weight as a percentage. Interpreting your segmental lean analysis can help you spot areas for improvement, assess if your lean body mass is sufficiently developed in all body segments, and identify if you have any muscle imbalances. For example, when we look on the screen, we see that the left arm has 90.2% and 3.99 pounds, whereas the right arm is 4.17 pounds and 94.1%, which means that there's slightly more muscle in the right arm than the left arm, which can be due to imbalances or injuries or anything like that. But it does give you an idea of what you can do, maybe using a slightly heavier weight in your left arm than your right arm to help build up the muscle mass. Up next, we have our body fat, lean body mass control. This section makes it very easy for you to set health and fitness goals and help you achieve the recommended body fat percentage for your sex. The InBody machine will make a suggestion based off the previous information, whether you should focus on losing or gaining body fat mass or lean body mass. The InBody machine will never recommend that we lose lean body mass or muscle from the body. Next, we have your basal metabolic rate. Your basal metabolic rate, or BMR, is the total number of calories you need for your basic essential functions. That means if you really don't do anything all day, you still need to eat how many calories are in your basal metabolic rate. BMR does not take into account any of the calories needed to perform daily activities. So your actual caloric need is much higher than your BMR. So what that means is if you laid in bed all day, you could eat the suggested 1,168 kcals if that was your basal metabolic rate. But if you do anything else, go to work, exercise, clean your house, we need to eat more calories to support our bodies. Next, we have our skeletal muscle index. The SMI is used to evaluate the risk of sarcopenia, the loss of skeletal muscle mass and strength with age. SMI can help identify low muscle mass, which can increase the risk of frailty. It can help assess muscle mass to determine muscle loss and regain through rehabilitation programs. And a healthy skeletal muscle index, SMI, for men is higher than 7.5 and for women higher than 5.67. Next, we have our results interpretation, and this includes our machine, the InBody 570, which is in our Abercrombie building. The InBody 570 provides a few more results than the InBody 270. So up first, we have our extracellular water and total body water analysis. Your extracellular water and total body water analysis is a measure of the compartmental fluid distribution and shows as a ratio of how much your total body water is extracellular. Generally, we want to be between 0.360 and 0.390. If we find that we are higher or lower than those two, we want to dive a little bit deeper to understand our normal fluid status and determine any imbalances, dehydration, or inflammation. Next, we have our segmental fat analysis. Similar to your segmental lean analysis, you can use this section to track your body composition improvements and changes in body fat over time. While studies have shown that you can't spot target body fat with exercise, you can use this section to get a more detailed account of your progress, and it helps you to stay motivated. Finally, your visceral fat level. Visceral fat level is the body fat that surrounds your abdominal area between your organs. The output is a numerical representation of how much harmful visceral fat you have. It's recommended that you stay below a visceral fat level of 10 to decrease your risk for chronic disease. And finally, we have your body composition history. This is on all of the InBodies, and it allows you to see the most vital measurements, your weight, skeletal muscle mass, and percent body fat, and you can compare and see trends and track your progress over time. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions or want to know more about your specific InBody assessment, please feel free to reach out to us at wellbeing@texaschildrens.org.